What's up guys, Daniel here, and today we're going to be comparing the Capture V2 and the Capture V3. So the Capture is something that holds your camera and you can put it on your strap or your belt, and it's a nifty device. I would totally recommend it to anybody that travels a lot. Capture V2 and Capture V3, they both do the same exact thing, but obviously the V3 is upgraded. It's much more smaller and lighter. So the thing about V2 is it's much wider, so it does dig into your shoulder as you try to reach something while it's strapped on. So that might be a con for a lot of you guys versus the V3, which is much smaller, so it doesn't really dig into your shoulder. I mean, you do kind of feel it, but not as much as the V2. Now with the V3, you do have a grip on the end of this part, on the back piece. So it does help a lot, especially when you have heavier cameras. And what I noticed with the V2, it does not have it, so it does slowly slide down throughout the whole day, or from my experience. Now the quality of these two items feel really good. They're not cheap, they don't feel cheap, and they're not made out of plastic. So either or, they're both good items. Now with the V3, the finish is anodized, so it does feel much smoother in the hands. With the V2, the black is painted on, so I do notice a lot of chipping or wear and tear on the V2 way faster than the V3. Now with the plates, the old V2 plates do work with the V3, but the V3 plate do not work with the V2s unless you get a dual plate just like the one I have here. Since the V3 is much smaller, I do find it harder to put on wider straps or straps with thicker padding. So you can fix the thick padding issue by having a longer screw, which luckily I did have from the past from the V2. So that wasn't much of a problem for me, but be aware, as I tried with the normal ones, the thick padding is much harder to put on. It is possible, but you might have to pressure down the padding just to make it fit with the V3. Now this is just me, but one thing I do miss on the V2 is the little corner here. There are holes on the side so I can put an anchor on. Usually I would use the wrist strap along with this. So I do have both throughout my travels. So I do like using both the wrist strap and a Capture as one thing when I travel. So I do recommend the Capture to anybody who's traveling, whether it's for serious work or even on vacation. Throughout my Asia trips, I find it so useful. I was so glad I bought it before it. There are nights where I'm on the street market and I'm eating food and I'm buying drinks. I need my hands to be free, and I just have it on my shoulder right there. I can just have it access. I don't have to put it in my bag and I don't have to grab it out of my bag. I can just have it on my shoulder ready to go. And when I do see something, I can just easily grab it from my shoulder, turn the camera on and take the shot, or just put it away right then and there. So I do have the wrist strap, the Capture, and the shoulder strap. I would only use the shoulder strap if I was only using camera and only the camera. When I don't have a bag on me, it's fine. It's very uncomfortable wearing a bag and wearing a shoulder strap at the same time. And it kind of restricts, I feel like it kind of restricts the movement of the whole strap from your side all the way up to your face. With only having the wrist strap, I do find it annoying just dangling on my wrist while I'm eating or drinking, and I'm always cautious of it, like having it swing around. It might hit something or it might hit a wall. Now I do use the Capture and the wrist strap both at the same time, just because for security reasons, and I know it's always on me. So for traveling, I do think the Capture and the wrist strap is a great combo. The wrist strap doesn't cost too much, so I would also suggest getting the wrist strap if you can. The V2 and the V3 are good options. They both do the same thing. You can't go wrong with either or. I think it's more specific of what you need, especially if you have wider straps. I would definitely go for the V2 because it may not fit on the V3, but the V3 is much smaller, lighter, and sleeker looking. It may stay looking fresh after a long period of time because of the finish on this. So I would definitely recommend the V3 if you can, if it fits your requirements. It's a great tool to have, especially if you want to be hands-free through your travels. You don't want to go in and out your bag all the time just to grab your camera and use it. This is something I do like to have, especially when you have your camera ready at the moment, exactly whenever you want, because it's right there in front of you next to your shoulder. So you can just grab it, turn it on, grab the shot. You don't have to go through your bag and open it and then close your bag, and then vice versa when you want to put it back. This is something I do recommend to like anybody, and this is probably one of the first things I would recommend to anybody buying something that like would hold your camera rather than a strap or a shoulder strap. That's it for me, guys. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, like the video. If not, dislike it. But make sure you subscribe, and see you guys later.